Welcome to ATB-TV. I'm Darren Danson. I'm here with Brian Johnson and our special guest, the Group 1 winning mare, Platelet. Say hello, Platelet. What a ripper. What a ripper she is, eh? Have a look at her. Platelet, what do you like to ATB? Because they feed her well and they look after her. Nanny gave her 4 runs this prep. What a champion she is. Isn't she got a great temperament, Brian?
She has, Darren, and she's coming back for the spring, I believe.
Yep, she's going for a spell next week and she'll be back in next week. Next month to start off for a big spring campaign. Anyway, Brian, let's just wrap up last week.
Well, here we are, Darren, at Ballarat. Beautiful morning. We've had a few horses go around. They all went fairly well, which is good for the owners and ATB. Now, let's just do a bit of a review from the weekend.
Well, Brian, my feet are frozen, but my brain's still working, so let's run through last week's results.
On Wednesday, Darren, the Basso went around in Sydney, and another good run by this horse and just got beat.
Yeah, ran a super second, Brian. He had no luck. He was posted wide the entire trip, and he really charged the line and failed by the smallest of margins, so he's back on track.
We had Solly on Thursday.
Look, we're probably a little bit disappointed with her run. She started pretty short price, and we thought she'd be hard to beat. She looked the winner, you know, when they straightened, but just didn't find the line. So we've had her checked out afterwards, and a couple of little minor issues, nothing significant. We just put it down to second up. And we had Jelly Baby and Lonspresso go around at Flemington on Saturday. Yeah, well, Lonspresso was the most heavily backed horse Australia-wide Saturday, Brian, and everyone just thought she'd win, but unfortunately she could only manage 4th. No real excuses. I know the steward report said she did pull up lame, but when she trotted up Monday she was fine. Probably just got a little bit lost down the straight, and just might pay to forget she worked that run.
Well, she's doing her best work late as well, so she's still Queensland bound as far as you know?
Yeah, she'll run again in a fortnight, and then she'll, all being well, she'll be back in form and we'll probably get odds.
And Jelly Baby?
Disappointing, she might be done.
Well, that's not what you want to hear, Darren, so let's head over to Morphettville now, and the mighty mare Platelet, gallant in defeat.
Fantastic run to run second in the Goodwood, Brian. Just loved the way she loomed up into the race and fanned wide and just looked the winner all the way down the straight to probably the last 100 when Smokin' Joey come flying at her and just got her on the line. But you know, she had a wonderful preparation, 4 starts, a win and 3 seconds, 2 in Group 1s. She's such a great mare to own and gave us a lot of fun, and she won almost 200,000, and now she goes to the paddock and we set her up for the spring.
Now, I thought Brad rode a great race from the wide barrier too, so we gave her every chance.
I thought there was only one bloke that would be smart enough to work out how to beat her, and that was the guy that rode her to win last year, Ben Mallam. So some days we love you, Ben, but today we don't.
And congratulations, Ben, on a great job on Smokin' Joey.
Get off.
And Platelet's half sister the following day, Darren, raced at Sandown, and probably a little bit disappointing on face value.
Yeah, once again, intravenous race to Sandown. Looked the winner on the corner, but didn't finish off at all and got checked and knocked over and flattened. And then the vet reports showed that she pulled up with the thumps after the race, so we just got to forget she raced, and she'll go to the paddock with Platelet, and the 2 sisters will have a little bit of a break together. Oh,
that'd be fun for mum bloodline. And Stratatini ran a good 3rd yesterday.
Yeah, Stratatini was up at Warwick yesterday, just having his 2nd run. Still very green, doing a lot wrong. Got probably too far back because we're trying to get the horse to settle and finish off. And I thought he got to the line nicely, and he'll be winning shortly.
And over in the UK, Darren, we had Kalini go around for the first time for the Marco Body stable, and I thought it was a pretty good run at Ascot.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was good to see Kalini first up on his, you know, massive preparation. He's a horse that raced in Australia last season, and we've sent him back, purchased him and sent him back to Marco Body, and getting him ready for, you know, the Melbourne Spring in 2014. He needs to qualify, and he needs to win a couple of races along the way to show us that he's got what it takes. I thought his debut run for Marco Body was full of merit. He ran 6th to Gatewood. The margin wasn't that great, but unfortunately the jockey got a bit lost on him, Brian, and had him 6 wide the whole trip. And I know Marco was very, very disappointed with the ride, but the horse went super. He looked super, and he showed us that he wants to be a racehorse. He's in good form, and I think really with a good ride next start, he'll be very, very hard to beat.
Yeah, certainly benefit from the run, Darren, and he'll be racing at Ascot in about 3 or 4 weeks, and we'll be over there to see him.
We will, Brian. He'll have another run at Newbury in the meantime, and then he'll be hopefully straight into the Hardwick Stakes.
Exciting times, Darren.
It was a pretty good week, Brian. A bit of promise there, a few disappointments, but I might just mention the other sad news on the week, Brian, was that Shiny Buttons went amiss, and he's been retired, which is, you know, a little sad 'cause he's been a great horse for us. He won really well at Warrnambool on the Tuesday. He ran a mighty race in the Warrnambool Cup that we talked about last week. But unfortunately, in the preparation for Adelaide last week, he broke down and's been retired. So he'll be off to a nice home at Pony Club somewhere. But what a great horse. Princess Hussey at Sandown on Wednesday. What a terrific effort to come from last and run third.
Yeah, nice horse this one, Darren. She's sort of continually improving and a little bit unlucky in that run. And the Royal Delago mare, she's done really well, hasn't she? Produced a winner for all of her foals.
Yeah, she's been terrific. What's that, Platelet?
What's that, mate?
She's getting a bit jealous because we're talking about the other horse.
Yeah, she doesn't like it.
But she got home good, and she's ready to go to 1600, and she'll be winning a race very shortly. Now coming up, Brian, she's saying, you know what she's saying? She's saying, how come you didn't go with me? Why didn't you want to share?
You didn't tell I was a Collingwood supporter, did you?
Oh yes, go the Crows, eh? Wasn't that fantastic? It made my heart feel warm last night, Brian, when the Crows rolled Adelaide.
Yeah, I was too busy focused on the breeding seminar down there over at the Pies last night. So
wasn't it a great night? We had our breeding seminar down at South Melbourne, and it was a terrific night. And we had about 60 people there, and we went through all the ins and outs of breeding, and we also went through all the details around what's involved. And we had Matt Tillett from Darley and Leo there from Group 1 Goldmine. It was a terrific evening.
And Shona did a great job organising it all, and it turned into a really good night. And we also found out the Platelet was syndicated for about $4,000 for 10%, Darren, and the owners have done pretty well because she's earned about $1.3 million.
She's won a lot of money, haven't you, girl? And she's a very special pony.
I think she's had a gutful, so we might
put her away.
Put her back away, Darren.
All right. Well, Brian, we've put Platelet back in her box, and she was straight into her dinner, which is what I'm going to be doing after this. We've now moved location into Darren Weir's sandpit, Brian. It's one of the biggest sandpits I've ever seen.
It's huge, Darren. I think this is where Poisson's Saloon was running around there last spring, every now and then.
Yeah, I don't know where he keeps his Tonka toys, but I can't see him anywhere. In the background behind us is the offices. That's where all your bills come from, so that's not a very popular place, is it?
Oh, it's not so bad when they're winning, Darren. And Darren's had a few winners, so he's a few happy owners.
I think he's gone up to Brisbane this weekend, Brian. I think he thinks Axar can win the big race up there.
Well, hopefully he can. I've seen a picture on Darren Weir's Facebook page and a lot of happy owners there, and it's great to see happy owners winning races, and I think if Axar wins, it's going to be pretty loud. You'll hear him in Melbourne.
Nah, good on him. Well done. Good luck, guys. We hope that horse does win for you. This weekend, Brian, 3 runners. Do you want to run through them?
Yeah, we could already like her racing over at Morpheville on Saturday, Darren, and she was pretty impressive down at Warrnambool. Yeah,
look, 2-year-old filly, Matthew Williams trains. We've slipped her across to Adelaide for a 1,000-metre race on the Parks track. I think it'll suit her. She's drawn barriers 6 or 7. She'll jump and go to the front, taking a jockey, Reece Wheeler, across the rider, and we're looking for that 2-year-old city win.
That'd be pretty handy for the owners. And tomorrow we're heading down to Caulfield, and Ticket to Turax going around. Looks a good chance.
Yeah, look, he's way over the odds at $30-odd. You know, he ran really well. This is the first time he's been back in 3-year-old grade for ages. He's been racing against the older horses. He ran super at Warrnambool during the carnival, and normally horses coming out of Warrnambool do race right on, and back in grade at $30, you've really got to have something to win and plenty to place.
Why ATB? Why not?
And we've got the big grey over in the UK, Take the Boy Strong. He's going around the Yorkshire Cup and looks pretty nicely placed over there, Darren.
Yeah, I see he's a raging $3 favourite, Take the Boy Strong, in that Yorkshire Cup Group 2 race. This will be his final lead up to the Royal Ascot Gold Cup in June, so he's in great order. I spoke to Marco Botti last night. He's really pleased with the horse, and you know, we take our chance. We get our soft ground here, and we can't guarantee we'll get soft ground for Royal Ascot, Brian, so we need to run, and there's plenty of money on offer, and if it does rain at Ascot, he'll go there, and then the plans are to go to the island for the St Leger, and then back across to France for those 2 races he raced in last season.
While we're on the internationals, I've had a few owners wanting to know how they're all going, and noticed Jacoby's gone to stud.
Yeah, we sold Jacoby. He was finished up earlier in the year, and we were lucky enough to sell him down to a stud in New Zealand. So he's actually just got on the plane out of the UK this morning, and he's now en route to New Zealand, so he'll be standing there this season.
Well, he should be a successful sire because he was a gutsy racehorse, wasn't he?
He's a very high-class stayer and a very quick stayer, so I think, yeah, we're looking forward to sending a couple of mares across to New Zealand to breed our own little
Well, I
jockeys.
hope I'm in one of those myself, Darren. And Crackerjack King, a bit of a forgotten horse. He's had the leg injury and he's still with David Hayes. And is it a chance of racing in the spring?
Yeah, he is. Look, Crackerjack King, he's completed his rehab. The vets are very, very happy with him. They said at the leg he couldn't even pick that there was a problem. So we've just given him a couple of weeks off in the paddock now to refresh mentally, and then he's coming back into work to start on a spring campaign that may see him sort of race in a race like the McKinnon Stakes or the Queen Elizabeth, or, you know, he'll be in it for the Cox Plate. I'm not sure that's his race, but we'll work with David over the spring to see where he takes us.
And of course, Dandino, the Black Beast, he's going around in the Coronation Cup, hopefully June 7th.
Yeah, everything's on track. Marco said that he's really pleased with the horse. He's doing a bit of fast work, and, you know, he's very, very much looking forward to seeing him run again, and he's taking his time, and, you know, he needs firm ground, so we need wet ground on the Thursday and we need firm ground on the Saturday for that race. So, you know, we're very picky on what we want, Brian. But yeah, first up is his target on the 7th, and then into the Hardwick Stakes on the 21st. Yeah, if you do want to get into a horse that's probably going to run in the Melbourne Cup, ring me about Seismos. Marco put an email to me yesterday to say how happy he is with this horse, how he's put on a lot of weight and his condition, his coach really coming through, and he's looking at running that horse first up in the first week of June.
So who's your early tip for the internationals?
Who's my early tip? Look, I think you've got to have something on Collini at the value at the moment. I mean, Dandino's been there, done that. He's proven at the class. The other, and I guess Collini is to an extent, but I think if Collini wins next weekend, his price in the Melbourne Cup will be slashed. I've got the winning post here, and we've been studying it. You can tell. Well, we've opened it a couple of times. We need a couple of best bets for the week. Dean Elliott's been true to form. He's currently trailing 6 Love, and I believe he's left the country.
He has, Darren. Look, after last week, he said unpretentious to beat Platelet and really got nowhere near it. And Platelet, I think it was like 10 wide the whole way, and still beat pretentious home. And thought I'd go around and see Dean, see who he likes this week, and left the country.
Did you order his chili plant?
I did have to order his chili plant, Darren, just to make sure.
Did you put some Roundup on it?
No, I didn't know. That's why I done it. I didn't let you do it, because it's probably what would have happened.
Well, next week I'm going to bring you in a chili to show you what a real chili looks like off my tree.
Well, I look forward to that, Darren. And look, I've decided not to give a tip this week, because I got told last night every time I give a tip, they back the other horses. So
really?
They do.
That's disappointing, Brian.
It is disappointing, but they said the same about you too, Darren. So.
Oh, look, I'm way in front of those blokes. I mean, these guys that hide behind emails and text messages, you can't take a lot of notice of them.
We wanted to get them on to give a tip, Darren.
I bet you if we get them on here and ask them to tip, they'll go to water.
No doubt, but I've actually I've outsourced a tip this week. I've asked the spring tipping winner and the autumn tipping winner from last year, Nathan Bennett, for his tip for the week to help me out, and he told me race 4 number 1 at Doom and She's Clean will win.
I'm going to give you one up in Scone tomorrow, Brian. Race 4 number 4.
And that is, Darren?
A winner.
All right, well, check that horse out because...
Race 4 number 4. Get on. Now, Brian, on the 1st of June, coming up is our next big event here at Darren Weir's on Sunday the 1st of June.
It is, Darren. That's actually Wondrous Winter's Day at Ballarat Race Club. It's the return of the race club, and they had some trials through the week, and I believe the track went really well. And Racing Victoria has given the club the go-ahead to hold this meeting, and it's all systems go for Ballarat. I'll
tell you what, I had 3 trials of my own on there, and those 3 horses of mine went super. Bear Min, Refill and Hippodrome. Geez, they were impressive. I was really excited to watch them trial, and they'll probably have one more trial and be ready to race those horses, but the track's in outstanding order. So on that Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, we'll have a parade here at Darren Weir's of all the racehorses. So if you're in a horse here with Darren Weir and us, and you want to have a look at it, come up and we'll parade those. We're also going to parade a couple of yearlings that we've got shares on offer, and we'll detail those on the morning. So if you want to get involved in a nice horse, come up with us, and then we're all going to go to Ballarat for the afternoon at the races, Brian. They're going to have all the snow and the tobogganing there, and we'll have a couple of starters as well, and it just promises to be one of those really good fun days. Well, until next week, Brian.
That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. I'm Darren Dance. That's Brian Johnson. We're at Darren Weir's. And next week, I won't be here. It's going to be brought to you live by Brian and Shona.